here again we are. Yep, I was gonna leave it alone, but I figured why not spin the bottle one more time on this. But to speak of, what is there left? Established we both have that Piss Pedro, a massive hypocrite. We have. That we did, although it did seem to point to my videos went all the way over the heads of Angry Joe's followers, who came to leave me all kinds of wonderful comments defending their Latinx heroes, so I'll explain the point of my videos really slowly, kind of like how most people have to for Joe, to the ones still sticking around, since my followers all somehow seem to understand where I was coming from. So, Angry Joe loves to support new social standards whenever they arise and pretend like he stopped doing the stuff that he's criticizing because he grew up. But called someone he has a retard back in 2018. Back then, in his mid-30s he was. How grew up he did then? That's besides the point, Yoda. He finally grew up sometime in 2019, okay? So anyways, when you push these new social standards, that means when something new comes around and people start getting on board with this new social standard, you gotta shut the hell up and hop on the train, baby. Like spaz. A slur now, that is. That's right, Yoda. It is. And Lizzo and Beyonce got in trouble for saying it, thus had to apologize. Joe's not above those two in the popularity game, so he has to apologize too. Them's the rules. After all, this is the future that Joe's championing for, so he has to get on board the train, or it can go right up his taquito tunnel. But with that out of the way, we're not here to talk about that any further. Wait, we're not? No, we're actually here to talk about Joe's followers, because this is something I've noticed happen a lot whenever these self-proclaimed progressive YouTubers like Angry Joe have their followers invade other channels' comments. That said, let me read off some of the things they left me. You lost all credibility when I seen made by people with multiple genders and personalities. You are mentally sick and socially exiled to the point you need the support of other stupidly like-minded individuals. Keep cutting your dicks off and cry after the pain never stops, you bunch of eggs. I'm just gonna have this channel removed from the site entirely. These keep crying about nothing. Good it is to want things. Separates us from the primates it does, but in the end, mauled and seethe he will. Yeah, to preface before we move on with the rest of the video, yes, I am bisexual, and no, these comments don't actually bother me, but it is funny how they always seem to show up in the wake of certain YouTubers like Joe visiting my channel to tell me how toxic me and my followers are. Funny, ain't it? The more we know. But yeah, I'm probably in more danger of the drive-thru attendant at McDonald's dropping my change between the window than random autism here getting my channel removed from this site. I also hope he gets the memo someday that everyone stop putting an X in the front and end of their handle sometime in 2009. This channel is a joke. Agates like you need to be burned at the stake. Burned at the stake. Much like a witch. Someone needs to tell these bozos that this isn't Xbox Live Messages. You got 1,000 characters to really make me feel the heat. So tell me how you feel. Time for you he does not have, because back he must go to suck off Joe's taco sauce. Seriously, why is Joe responding to some that speaks with a Yoda doll? This shit is getting ridiculous. You guys are a bunch of snowflakes getting riled up over a Disney movie. Well, at least this follower has the common sense to label this as a throwaway account. You wouldn't believe the amount of times people use their real names and locations online to say legitimately horrendous or even illegal things. Ridiculous. This is getting. Wish to know what ridiculous truly is, though? Making a throwaway account. Like a punk.
A lot of reaching going on in this video. Those are always pretty pathetic.
Tell I can that looking for the reach around he must be. He should head down to a gay bar and he can find what he's looking for there. Or he can ask his daddy when he's done giving me one. Wait, you're gay? Bisexual, actually. He stated in his last video. Ew. Now to be fair, this ain't nowhere near as bad as some of the other messages that got left in the aftermath of my videos on Angry Joe, but I also never had this type of reaction until Angry Joe's followers showed up. Ew. This video is the first time I've made my sexuality part of the topic, and it's really only because Joe's followers got pissy when I said Joe's more feminine than some of the dudes I've dated. For a while, a large amount of my subscribers haven't known anything about me like this because I'd rather just post about normal stuff like movies, games, and memes. I just really think a lot of the agendas getting pushed lately are detrimental to the LGBT community as a whole, and I don't want any part of it. I don't care if Dylan Mulvaney is on some can of beer, but I also totally get why people don't want to buy a Bud Light with a rainbow on it. Perhaps change her tune they will. When it comes out of the closet, Frankie Carlos does. Oh yeah, I can definitely see that happening. If Joe can grow up in his mid-30s, then there's definitely a chance he's so developmentally far behind that coming out in his 40s is still on the table. You're mad you're being canceled, yet you're still making TikToks? Funny joke, but dang dude, take a look in the mirror please. Canceled how? Joe said himself I'm irrelevant. Where's to go from there? I don't do YouTube for a living. Okay dude, I love your content. We all did, but keep using Chinese spyware that kids. Try the Benadryl challenge that adults get paid to tell kids is fun, that they buy from. I love your content, but you're a sellout. Toodles. Wait, homophobic this is not. Nope, but it's still a very retarded comment, so I'm addressing it. TikTok ain't doing nothing to kids. Stupid ass parents not taking responsibility are what's happening to kids. Also, big tech apps are spyware and have sold your information to China years ago, and if the government cared about that, it would have done something back then. But a sellout you are! A sellout! A sellout! Yeah, I totally cashed out from TikTok and YouTube. Maybe one day when these dingbats try their hand at making videos, they can learn really, really fast how little you actually make versus the time you invest in it. Only the top 5% are actually doing anything on these platforms. A small club, that is. And you're not in it, punk. Still, you'd think after years of other YouTubers and creators talking about how dismal and how just plain how successful you have to be to make a proper living off of content creation, that we wouldn't have boneheads like this guy believing that people like me are swimming in a pool of money like Scrooge McDuck. Called you mad. Angry Joe did, the entire time. Yet, the one to finally break and unfollow you, he ultimately was. That's Angry Joe for you. When he got ratioed in my comments on my first video, he threw a temper tantrum and left the stadium. He realized what flies on Twitter doesn't exactly work on YouTube. Again. The funny thing is, Editor Joe went to go follow me right afterwards. Only one of these two, shown to be a man, they were in the end. Lost one follower you have, but the Force quickly replenished you with a better follower. That's a good way of putting it. And I'm fine with that. Editor Joe seems way more rational than me along with Alex, so I'm totally cool with that. You know, even after all of this, I don't hate Angry Joe or even his followers. It really wasn't about him, his hypocrisy, or homophobia in the end. It was about the friends we made along the way.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't realize this was the award for biggest dumb slut of the year.
Received an F on your report card. Again, you have? Get this belt, you will. Yes, get this belt. Give me a big kiss, you must. Yes, big kiss.